Mthwakazi omuhle, ngabe litshona njani kuzindawo zonke elikuzo, eMatabeleland South, eMatabeleland North, eMidlands, ngiyazi abanye likobulawayo, abanye lingabe liseMzansi Afrika, eSouth Africa, abanye likubo UK, kuzo zonke izindawo ngithanda ukulibingelela lapho elikhona. Ngisithi welcome to i-conversation esiza ukuthi sibe layo namhlanje ngebandla leMthwakazi Democratic Alliance, ukuthi why sa decide ukusungula ibandla okuthiwa yiMthwakazi Democratic Alliance, why lizibiza lithi liyiMthwakazi Democratic Alliance. Konke lokho sizobe sikuveza obala kuZulu namhlanje. Ngikholwa ukuthi lonke libelelanga elihle lapha kade likhona, abanye bebesemsebenzini, abanye maybe they are still on holidays depending ukuthi ukuliphi ilizwe, ikakhulu ma useMzansi Afrika. Ngithanda ukulibingelela Mthwakazi omuhle. Ngizathi ukuthi ngixolisa ukuthi as I continue to discuss, ngizosebenzisa isilungu here and there, lingathi hayi kanti uHloniphani useyenza kanjani uzishaya ofundileyo. Senzela phela ukuthi ilizwi lethu lifinyelele kuwo wonke amakhona kaMthwakazi, ngoba siyakwazi ukuthi uMthwakazi is a nation of nations. Umthwakazi ugoqela izizwe eziningi. So when we are talking about Mthwakazi, we are not talking about tribe, as some have put it. We are not talking about only Ndebele people, as some have put it. And it's very unfortunate ukuthi masikhuluma ngamaNdebele abantu basuka bakufake kube yi-language, bese kukhanya ngathi ngabantu bohlanga oluthile abangafuni uku-associate lohlanga oluthile. That's a wrong narrative about uMthwakazi. uMthwakazi ugoqela inhlanga eziningi. Masikhangele koMthwakazi sile inhlanga eziningi, sile ndimi eziningi, silawo amaTonga, silawo amaNambia, silamandebele, silamasuthu, silamaXhosa. Ungazibalisa indimi amaNambia, uxolo ngalabo engasuke ngibabalise, kodwa ke sibanengi ngizama uku-unpack to the world ukuthi masikhuluma ngomthwakazi kasikhulumi ngolimi, o kasikhulumi ngohlanga, o kasikhulumi ngamaNdebele as some have put it. So what is Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance? iMthwakazi Democratic Alliance libandla lakoMthwakazi, which exist, mainly we exist one, to usher the freedom of Mthwakazi. And I will unpack these issues in detail on exactly what am I talking about when I'm referring to the freedom of Mthwakazi. The other thing, as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, we exist to usher development. I think a lot of you will agree with me that as Mthwakazi people, it has been a while since we have tested something that is positive about us, something that is developmental, or something that portrays that we are a free people. Kudala sagcina ukuzwa into okuthiwa yi-freedom njengabantu bakoMthwakazi, asikaze sibe lento okuthiwa yi-freedom. We are not free people. That is why you will discover ukuthi khona we are not receiving the education esifaneleyo njengabantu bakoMthwakazi. We are not receiving i-health esifaneleyo njengabantu bakoMthwakazi. We are unemployed, kasisebenzi. A lot of our communities bayalamba kule indlala ibhahile. A lot of our communities are struggling kudala sacina ukuthi njengesizwe ke siziqhenye sithi khona yes, we have experienced this, which is positive. We have experienced 1 or 2 or 3 things which are positive. Isizwe sethu, we are struggling. That is why a lot of us are outside the country. That is why a lot of people are languishing. We are languishing as a society. That is why even if you look at ama artists agiti, they are struggling. Even if you look at abantu bagiti abafundileyo, they can't get jobs. Even if even the justice, we can't even get justice as abantu bakomthwakazi. If you go to a police station ufuna ukureporta about a certain matter or umntana akho udlwenguliwe, you are not guaranteed ukuthi uzothola justice as umuntu wakomthwakazi. Firstly, uzotufika ku police station kule language barrier. The people who are employed there in that particular police station, which is supposed to serve the local people, they can't even speak in local language. If you go Plumtree, abantu abase Plumtree ngale amakhalanga, the people who are employed as police officers there, they are not the indigenous Kalanga people. If you go Ematongene, the people who are employed there as health practitioners or nurse, you will discover that those people cannot speak the local language. Abakhona ukukhuluma ulimi lwakhona lapho kusona leso sigaba. And we have a crisis. We have a crisis, and the crisis is very serious. And it is up to this generation to stand up and confront this crisis and ensure that we deal with whatever is affecting our people. So, abantu bengathi no man Hloniphani lokhu khuluma ngama problems, can you address why Lina as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance? Why are you coming? There are a lot of Mthwakazi political parties. Why are you adding on top of like the other story which was written by this other journalist, this party adds to another existing party? You see, I will talk about state of journalism in our country. It's very pathetic. It's very pathetic. I'll talk about it later on. But as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, let me unpack this one. We exist, number one, to free our nation. Why are we calling for the freedom of Mthwakazi? Number one, whatever arrangement we are as the people of Mthwakazi, I'm sure all of us, we know that we are under what we call a colonial arrangement. Wonke umuntu okomthwakazi lokho esikubiza sithi yiZimbabwe kithi kwaqala kuyiRhodesia, it's what we call a colonial arrangement. It's not something that we as the people of Mthwakazi wanted. This thing called Zimbabwe is not an African creation. It's not indigenous. We don't even know ibizo lakhona, we can't even associate it with us. It's foreign to us. The word Zimbabwe, it can't find a place in our hearts. It can't find a place in the hearts of Mthwakazi people. Abanye bathi no lina lifuna ukupromote tribalism and so forth. No, that's nonsense. We are not promoting tribalism. In fact, as I have alluded, we are a nation of nations. We are still fighting as abantu bakomthwakazi against colonization. We are still colonized because what we call our nation is a colonial arrangement. Okay, before this thing called Zimbabwe, in fact, even before this thing called Rhodesia, you will understand that before 1893, Mthwakazi was an independent nation. Mthwakazi kwakulilizwe elizimele lodwa. After it was dismantled, not according to the will of the people, but it was dismantled because someone somewhere came and attacked us and occupied our land, and watu sesibusa And then as time goes on, abazali bethu bahamba bayolwela i-freedom, thinking ukuthi I'm sure abanengi, if you ask abazali abanengi bethu abalwayo besilwa under izipra, they thought they were fighting for Mthwakazi freedom. Unfortunately, the people who were in the forefront babengela that mentality. That is why abazali bethu balwa kabuhlungu, and then the leaders who didn't, some of them even carry a gun, they decided to go and submit our country in Harare. That is why we are under this mess that we have to free ourselves from, called Zimbabwe, whereby everything, you see, it's so pathetic in Zimbabwe. We are not ruled. We are not only ruled, but we are dominated. So, in short, we are still under colonialism. And there is an urgent need to free ourselves. There is an urgent need ukuthi sizikhulule njengomthwakazi. That is why ubona abasibusayo bathe beliphiwe ilizwe lelo. They didn't even fight for. I mean, it's known. ZANU-PF did not fight for this country. It's abantu bakithi who fought for this country. It is the Zipra who fought for this country until the white colonialist gave up. But unfortunately, abantu bakithi, they didn't reap the fruits of freedom. So, sikhuluma ukuthi njengomthwakazi Democratic Alliance, one of the core objectives of the party is to free abantu bakomthwakazi, is to free our nation. What is freedom? Sometimes mawukhuluma ngaleli bala, people abanye abazwisisi ukuthi what exactly is Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance talking about when it is talking about freedom. When we are talking about freedom, we are talking about being free to determine our destiny, to determine who we are, to determine what we want, to determine what we aspire to be. We have not been given that opportunity since 1893. We have been under political bondage. We have been after one oppressor to another oppressor. And it is time for us as Mthwakazi people to free ourselves. We need to determine our destiny. We need to redefine who we are. We need to revert to who we are. We need to revert to ubuyiti bethu njengabantu bakomthwakazi. What are we talking about when we are talking about freedom? We want abantu bakithi to be able to participate in free and fair elections. As you know, in the Zimbabwean context, there is no free and fair elections. Robert Ncube was given by the British colonialists the country. We know who won. They didn't win elections. And to get rid of Robert Ncube, this current coup regime had to use the guns, to parade the guns in the street and force the guy who was previously given power to take power. So these people, they don't carry the mandate of the people. People haven't been free to determine themselves. People haven't been free to choose people to lead them. And as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, that is what we exist to restore. We want to restore the power to the people. We don't want the power that comes through the barrel of a gun. We don't want the power that comes through oppression. We don't want power eforcwayo, abantu abazifosezayo ukuthi basibuse. Umnangagwa has no mandate from the people. He used the gun. He used his proximity to the guys who were currently in charge, were by then in charge of the military, to manipulate them to attain power. So he hasn't been elected by anyone. You know, in Zimbabwe, our elections, they are fraudulent. People are not free to choose their leaders. So This is the freedom we are talking about. I need to define this broadly so that people understand. Good mass kulumang freedom kulumangani. Our people should be given the right to choose who should lead them. Our people should be given the right to choose their leaders, to choose ideologies, to choose which idea to follow. You see, it shouldn't be about like what others are talking about. Yeah, I'm a political parties manengi. It should not be about. People should, yes, participate have manengi, but abantu baphiwe power to choose which leaders to lead them. So that's the freedom we are talking about. As Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, we must ensure that we complied with our norms of democracy. We should be going for our conference so that the people of Mthwakazi who choose to join Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance and be members can actually participate in electing their National Accounting Council members, their president, to lead this political party. We exist actually to restore the power of the people to the people. That is the mandate. That is the purpose of Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance. And no one is going to stop that. No one is going to stop that. We are going to fight for that. This is what we exist to do. This is what we are born to do. Yes. So when we are talking about freedom, we should be able as Mthwakazi people to tell our story. You know, ever since we were colonized by the white colonialists and then by this brutal regime of Robert Gabriel Ncube and the current, the most dull president we have ever witnessed in Africa and in the world. You see, our people have never been free to tell their story. In Zimbabwe, the media is controlled. The media are eco-balanced. The people who call themselves journalists, bangama political activists, and you wonder why are they not joining in politics? They don't tell proper stories. I'll make an example. You see, for example, as abantu bangomthwakazi, we are saying we don't want our children, wherever they are, be it Epinga, to be taught by teachers who doesn't understand indigenous languages. Epinga, what is the indigenous language? The indigenous language, Epinga, is Tonga. You see, we don't want to create zero ukuthi bafunde isiTonga, and then you will hear a journalist from Chronically or a journalist from a private media ati kona Mthwakazi is against non-Ndebele teachers. You see, when we are saying that, that's a very dangerous statement and a misrepresentation of facts. That is not what we are saying. When we are saying, you see the state of journalism in Zimbabwe, you can see this media house have chosen a side and they have chosen a propaganda over facts. So, beti kona, we are anti-Ndebele teachers. They are not telling the true story. Because bas portray ngati kona asifuni muntu ongaso Ndebele. Asifuni teacher ongasondebele. So kuyabe ngathi asifuni oteacher abangamasuthu, asifuni oteacher abangamakhalanga. You see, when someone is reading that newspaper outside in the world, somewhere in Britain, understanding the context of Mthwakazi, wishes to understand and sympathize with us, that person will end up saying, no, but these guys are tribalist. These guys are promoting tribalism because of the propaganda that comes with people who are calling themselves journalists. It's very pathetic. Or some, you will hear them, we tell them, like now I'm telling you, we are not here to divide anything. We are here to restore our nation. We are restorationists. And then someone just write, secessionist Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance. But you are calling yourself a journalist. What is journalism? Journalism is to tell the story as it. Kumele ukhulume story njengoba ngisitsho, utshele abantu my views, not your judgmental, irrelevant statements. Uthi wena secessionist. Who told you I'm a secessionist? When I'm telling you I'm a restorationist. We want to Mthwakazi existed. It was a nation that was there. Those who have studied history, they know ukuthi kule lizwe okuthiwa ngumthwakazi. Then when I'm also a secessionist, what? We are not secessionists. We are restorationists. So you see the state of journalism in Zimbabwe. It's very pathetic. So there is no freedom. When people can't access facts, when people can't access a reality, when there is no what we call fourth estate, because media exists as the fourth estate. You see, they exist as the watchdog of the society. So when we have journalists who are so judgmental, who want to create what we call political correctness. Okay, now when they are talking of Chamisa, they will say the firebrand, advocate Chamisa, whatsoever. You see, they will write good things. They will write all those things as itshoyo baziportray kahle. Uhambe wahlangana lo Trump wampromise ama-billions. Even if he was lying, the media will capture it, bakuportray angathi kuliqiniso. You see, if it's a private, especially if it's private media, you know it will be pro-Chamisa. Chamisa is correct. Everything about Chamisa will be branded as a messiah. They won't talk about ideologies. When you listen, what idea does Chamisa have to solve the problems of Mthwakazi or to solve the problems of the society? You will discover that the guy is empty. The guy is very, very empty. I want abantu be-MDC to prove me. And one of the things esikuko as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance is to fight against what we call a bondage. Abantu bakithi, they find themselves in a bondage to support MDC. They see MDC as a party that will bring change. Ironically, this party has existed for more than 20 years. 20 years. The first time they entered into the political landscape, they were given votes by the entire Mthwakazi provinces. In Mat South, in Mat North, in Bulawayo. And what did they deliver? They delivered nothing. Look at the state of roads, go Bulawayo. Look at the amans. We can't access clean and safe water, go Bulawayo. They haven't even built even one dam, go Bulawayo. People were dying of cholera, eluveve. Abantu bayafa, and okunya ku report opele Zimbabwe. It might not be Luveve. It may be amalokichi wonke akumthwakazi. Abantu bakithi bayafa because of drinking unsafe and unclean water. Look at the state of ama clinics. Who is in charge? It is the Bulawayo City Council, under which political party? EMDC. What is it doing to improve health yako Bulawayo? Look at imigwaqo yako Bulawayo. Look at everything. Okwenza khangela CPD. Akulanto abayitshintshayo. What they have been doing ko Bulawayo is looting and nothing else. The Panama stands left, right and center at a cheap price. You see, $2 30 cents. All the councillors, if you were to go and investigate, I think there are actually organizations who have investigated and find out that the MDC is the most corrupt organization. most corrupt organization. So we are fighting against the bondage of saying, no, we want a better alternative than is that. No, don't say you want a better alternative. Don't say that. You see, vote for a political party based on our ideas. Lifuna ukusenzelana nje. Okay, ungathi khona babuye bale false claim yokuthi no, we need to be in control of i-nation. Kumele ukuthi sithole presidency for us to deliver. There is nothing like that. What if the trend they have been maintaining persist for the next coming 100 years? So which means abantu bakobulawayo bazohlala bekhala ngamanzi, abantu basemathebheleleni bazohlala bekhala ngamanzi, abantu basemathebheleleni bazohlala bekhala ngendlala, but voting for MDC. So bantu bakithi, I think we need to be wise. Kasihlakanipenini. And let's look at what MDC has done. Iyathatha ama-councillors from Harare manje, there are about 19 councillors who are not locals. And those councillors, what happens? They are giving each other stands. Bapanama stands. You see, they decide to go to Linagoblawa Lizonatamanzanjani. They decide to go to my businesses and Bazwa Chacha how much. Because look, council, for example, I'm talking of more of people because it's a case study that I'm using, that I'm more familiar with. Council. Ama-councillors lawayana, they will be supervising ama-rates abhadalwa ngabantu, yibo abadetermine ama-rates, ama-businesses ayabhadala for ama-certificates, be it or health and so forth, ba-receive i-revenue, which they can translate it into the development of our city. But what have they done? They have absolutely done nothing. And what is their scapegoat? ZANU-PF is in power. ZANU-PF is in power. Okay, so why voting for abantu abanjalo ke ukuthi baphathe koBulawayo? Why voting for abantu abanjalo ukuthi baphathe koBulawayo? So as the MDA, we want to free our people from such bondage. What are we talking about? Mas khuluma nge-freedom. I'm still elaborating on freedom. Mas khuluma nge-freedom. Sikhuluma ngokuba le free and fair justice system that is accessible by all. In Zimbabwe, law is for a certain group of people and other people are untouchable. We don't want such a system whereby law favors certain individuals. Abanye, law yankhona doesn't cover them. They are protected. Those acts of parliament, they don't apply to them. You see, ZANU-PF, it will use COVID-19 to stop our opposition parties from engaging into political activities. Bona, they will be campaigning because they are in charge. What kind of law is that? So this is what we are fighting against as abantu Mthwakazi. We want to fight for a free and a fair justice system that will favor all. We want a law that respects our culture. Yes, I want to emphasize this, that respects our culture, our values, and even our religious beliefs. I was so touched when Chief Nhlanhla Mangwendiweni issued a judgment and he had to go to jail because he issued a judgment. Ama chief said to Musi, their local judiciary heads, they preside over judiciary matters and they make a judgment. And because that chief was serving his people, that chief was standing for abantu bakoMthwakazi, wagcina eseyi enemy and wagcina esiyejele just for presiding over a traditional court, which to us as abantu bakoMthwakazi, we value it. There is no justice in Mthwakazi if that justice doesn't value our traditional norms, if that justice doesn't value our cultural system, if that justice system doesn't value our indigenous knowledge systems. because the law must work for us. The law must not work against us. So this is the freedom that I'm talking about. Esiyilwelayo as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance. We must have liberty to associate. In Zimbabwe, it is a crime to belong to a political party. That's why ubona some of the guys abati bafuna ukukhulula uMthwakazi. If someone choose to belong to MDA, they can't sleep abalali. So manje senza le press statement bazobhala nonsense because they don't want to allow people to associate with whomever they want based on ukuthi unama ideas aphi. You're getting the sense? Politics must be all about ideologies. Not ukuthi sikuvotela ngoba utshona uparade umqwayi ugqoka amahlwayi and so forth. No. You must tell the people what are you offering. And if you are able to convince the people about what you are offering, people will choose you. You're getting the sense? So we are fighting for that freedom whereby our people should choose their leaders. You see, even us as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, if we free the country, of which we are going to do it, I can assure you, that one I'm guaranteed, we are going to do it. Mthwakazi is going to be free, mark my words. And in our lifetime, abantu loba sesikhulula ilizwe kumele bakhululeke ukuthi loba kungafonywa ama-political parties angu-100 and so forth. Those political parties must be free to campaign. Those political parties, abantu must be free to join them without anyone labeling them, judging them. Let people be free to choose. If they choose to follow a donkey, let them follow a donkey. You get in the sense? That is what we are fighting for. This is the freedom that we are talking about. I'm still defining broadly ukuthi silwelane thina exactly as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance. We are fighting for ukuthi abantu bakithi kube ne freedom of speech. People should be free to express themselves. People should be free to challenge a government. People should be free to challenge the president. Someone should not be arrested just because we know what this president is doing is nonsense. Or for saying this president is stupid. Or for saying, no, we can't be led by a novice like Mnangagwa who killed our people, who masterminded Tikukuraund. People should not be arrested for expressing themselves that way. You see, that is what we are fighting for. Under this regime, people are not free to do that. People are not free to associate. People are not free to join the political parties of their choice. People are not free to express themselves. People are not free to campaign. People are not free to demonstrate if they are dissatisfied about the government which claims to be elected by those people. If you are elected by people, abantu should be free. You know what you are doing now is nonsense. So there isn't that freedom. And that is the freedom that as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, we want our people to have. This is our political ideology that we are introducing to our people. Even if kungafonywa amanye ama-parties angu-100 angomthwakazi, we don't mind. Abantu should have liberty ukuthi bakhethe who is selling i-idea yakomthwakazi better. Yes. Hayi khona ukuthi khona kube nabanye abathi bona yibo. Nothing like that. We don't want that komthwakazi. And we will fight against that. We want people to be free. To be free. This is the freedom. That's why we are saying we are building. We are the generation of freedom. Freedom and development. Ngisakhuluma nge-freedom manje. That is what we mean by freedom. You see, that is what freedom entails to us. You see, that is what freedom is all about to us. So, I think I have said much, even though I haven't exhausted all the points about freedom. Now I'm coming to the development. Tina, as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, I have been explaining a lot about ukuthi we want to usher freedom and what I mean by freedom. Now I'm coming to development. And development. As kunini, as the people of Mthwakazi, as I have alluded in my introduction, whereby you can wake up in the morning, drive, and kungabi le pothole. You drive to umgwaqo kahle. You drive to uthi mawuhamba akula mapolice azodemand ibribe. Kulama traffic lights are right, kulama robots angikhona right. Kunini abantu abake bahamba kobulawayo komthwakazi eMat North, hamba usiye eNkayi, umgwaqo lwana kumbe wakhiwa nini. Every time izanu makubuya ama-elections bazo yakho kuyi-1 meter bethi no siyawuqeda these years lingasivotela, we will finish it. Abantu bahamba ngegebhezi yemgwaqo, akukho development, akukho mpucuko. You see, there is poverty. Abantu bakithi bayalamba, ngikhuluma kanje, they can't even afford data to listen to myself. You see, abantu, they don't have jobs. Abantu bakithi akula zikolo. Uyazi ukuthi sibhalwe ukudubeka nje. So as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, we are existing to usher freedom and development. And what am I talking about, ngikhuluma nge-development? We want to create development economically. Ever since ZANU-PF regime came into power, we have never experienced development. You see, they're giving excuses, one excuse after another. Economic sanctions. Smith regime was under economic sanctions, but the economy was performing much, much better than what we see today. You see? And ZANU-PF is clever. What have they done now? They are building Opaid Bridge. And Opaid Bridge, bonalabana ungakhangela ukuthi bakhiwe ngezimali ezivele ngaphi. Ngama-loans onalawaya. Azobhatalwa kanzima, azukubhadalwa azoedelwa to isikwerede esikhona khathesi. As we speak, isikwerede abasivezayo public, it's more than 8 billion US dollars. But the national budget yabo is less than 2 billion US dollars. You're getting the sense? And you have a finance minister, Oti, I'm saving. You are saving, but people are going hungry. You are saving, but there are potholes on the roads. You are saving, but there is no medication in the hospitals. You are saving, but you see, everywhere you go, it smells suffering. Then what is that saving for? So you see, we have put in power the people who doesn't understand economics. They introduce a currency. They are doing nothing in terms of improving production. People are not working. People don't have confidence in this currency. They don't have confidence in this currency. That's why it is depreciating. And it will continue to depreciate. So there is no development economically. Tina, as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, we are talking of ukuthi as soon, even Mthwakazi engabe free, we should be doing something to develop our communities. I know people, we have ukuthi kona Africa, the reason why we are backward, we like to be promised a lot. You see, ama-political parties asiwajajene sesengama-opposition political parties. What are they bringing on the table? What are they bringing on the table as opposition political parties? Don't vote because someone gave you a t-shirt. Don't vote because someone gave you a beret for free. Don't vote because someone gave you food to last for a week. But vote because someone has done something, you see, that will stand the test of time. That will stand for a long time. For example, these opposition political parties, MDC, they had members of parliament. Those guys bayahola ngale, bayaphiwa kuthiwa constituency development fund. And if you verify where that money goes, there is a lot of corruption. And you look at our communities, there is nothing that is being done. You see, they will be always complaining, hey, Zanu, ingayenzi mistake, complain but what are they doing in our communities? As I was saying, now they are in charge of Bulawayo City Council. Look at the state of roads in Bulawayo. Phela roads imali iphuma ku-national government, but also they receive a certain revenue. They receive a certain revenue. Bale degree of power ku Bulawayo. So, which means we should not vote them. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the capacity to improve Bulawayo. We have given them a chance for the past 20 years. What have they done? What have they done? IZAP performed better during their time. They performed better. The MDC has destroyed Matabeleland. It has destroyed Matabeleland. And I don't know ukuthi inyanga abanayo bayithathapi. We need abantu bakithi ukuthi siyogeza. Sigeza ubu-MDC, sikhupha ubu-MDC. That's when izinto ezizoqala ukusihambela kahle. I want to assure you, there is nothing that this Chamisa also will do. You see ungabona umuntu esenza something engabi nalutho. Look at how he ascended to power to be president of MDC. He did that unconstitutional. He violated his constitution. That's the truth. I know people will be angry, but that is the honest truth. He violated his constitution, and if ZANU-PF used that loophole to further destroy him and put that guy Monzora, you're getting the sense? Because he couldn't follow the constitution of the party. And then do you think that person will follow the constitution of the nation? Hayibo bantu bakoMthwakazi asivukenini. Look, iparty enabo MDC, it's another small ZANU-PF. Look, they have their president. Ne ku-conference yabo abahamba ku-congress yabo, they call it congress. Tina we call it conference, by the way. Ku-congress yabo. Uchamisa appointed 3 vice presidents. It's an opposition. Why having 3 vice presidents? So if kulilizwe bebezofaka 3 vice president, okwedlula iZANU nge-1, and those people bayabhadalwa. Babhadalwa through national fiscus. Babhadalwa through taxpayers' monies. And what is their roles? Why? What is the necessity of having 3 vice presidents? Just as what is the necessity of having 2 vice presidents in a small country like Zimbabwe? Maybe if we don't even need a vice president. Because those people, they are paid. So they are given allowances. Their families, they benefit from. So it means it taxpayers' money. Yes, they are siphoning the taxpayers. Why are you congesting the taxpayers' money? You're getting the sense? What is the sense of having 2 vice presidents? What is the point of having a vice president, abuye abe ngu health minister, double tipping? What is the point of having and then you have umuntu wakithi, no, these people are doing well. These people are doing well. These people will take the country further. How will they take the country further? If they are in power, which means the money that they will be collecting through revenue, through taxes and so forth, most of it will be paying their officials before even carrying out development. You see, they don't understand economics. They don't understand economics. That is why even now in Zimbabwe, you will discover that most of revenue generated, it goes towards civil service. Because we have political leaders who doesn't understand our issues of development. And as long as we don't choose people based on ideas, unfortunately, we will suffer as a citizen. You see, what has the MDC done to develop? You see, people will say, yeah, this one is a ZANU project because it's Kulumang MDC. Let me tell you one thing. We are a political party, we are an opposition political party. We are not only fighting ZANU-PF, we are fighting against all these other political parties because we believe with better ideologies. We believe with better political ideologies. We believe we carry the best interest of our people. So don't expect us to speak nicely about certain political parties and only target one. All of them to us, they are nonsense. That's why we had to come up. That's why we had to exist. Any other political party, so don't expect us to be nice. Yeah, these people, why so much on the because the MDC now is occupying a political space in Mthwakazi, just like ZANU-PF. So those are our enemies. All of them, they are enemies. And both of them, they seem to be implementing the 1979 Grand Plan. So all of them, to us, we are fighting against them. All political parties are fighter for a political space in Mthwakazi. We are coming after them because we believe we are the best alternative. You see. So that is our purpose in essence. Sifuna ukuthi koMthwakazi silethe i-development, ingqubekela phambili bantu bakithi, silethe njalo ne-freedom. And ingqubekela phambili leyo sizoyiletha sisese-opposition political party. Manje, so as we are speaking, ambona ukuthi singehluleka ukuthi si-raise funds to make sure ukuthi akubi nama-school dropouts koMthwakazi. Make sure that we provide abantu bakithi with medicines. Make sure that we provide our students with scholarships. Make sure that we build hospitals. Lilizwe lethu leliana, lilizwe lethu. Wherever you might be, whether in UK or in South Africa, you think everything is nice there. At the end of the day, you will go home. You see, home is the best. Ungazi uyenzeni utshakala uye ngaphi, ikhaya liqhakathekile. So i-MDA ithi no bantu bakithi masingalahli itowel. Masingalahli itowel. Kasiphatheni umsebenzi wokukhulula ilizwe lakithi. Let it be our mandate, all of us. Let us not give up on ukukhulula ilizwe lakithi. Ilizwe lami lidinga mina nawe. Singumthwakazi. Kubambane abantu bakwamthwakazi, not ama-political parties. I've heard abanye abantu, they are busy saying, hey, these political leaders might... We want to unite corrupt people who have failed. The reason why we are existing, because we saw that amongst those who are in the political space, they are very corrupt, a lot of them. You see, they don't even understand why they are there. They are not acting in the best interest of our people. So as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, even now as a political party, I'm left with about 10 minutes because I'm ending at 7 o'clock. If Emiliam needs me. Even now, as an opposition party, we should be seen to be a political party that is administratively sharp, that understand economics, that understand issues of development, that understand issues of freedom. Okay, you can't. Okay, you see, it's so very funny. Ukuthi kona You will have a political party, you are a democratic political party, simele abantu, but they don't even conduct a congress or what you call a conference to elect leaders. You call yourself a political party. Akula political party njalo. You are not a political party. You are not standing for people. You are standing for something else, which is definitely not people. That is why, as Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance next year, they were saying, hey, this is a Facebook political party. My friend, we launched our party, but this is a face, it won't go anywhere. Because we are now. MDA is at another level, unimaginable. And I'm telling you, by the time we go to our conference next year in October, it will be at another level because it is for the people. That is why people love us. That is why people are trusting us. They have tried to tarnish my name, Hloniphani is this and that, create messages, trying to portray me as a very evil person. MDAs, but people, you see, they see our works, they see how I work, they see what I'm doing, how I talk, what I have done, they see my vision and my commitment towards my people. That is what is important. I know bantu bakithi njengoba kade ngitsho silwa lento eziningi, imedia is against us. I mean, we are fighting against the system elamele media, system elama lawyers, system in control of the judges, system in control of ama politicians akhona, system econtrola yonke into. That is what we are fighting against, and it won't be an easy task. Lapha ke kudingakala amadoda namadodakazi, kudingakala abantu kuzwa. It's a challenge. Mthwakazi akafuni nje abantu abahamba bekhonkotha for 7 years. Mthwakazi udinga amadoda namadodakazi, abantu abazothi no, thina sifuna ukubamba insimbi echisayo. So thina la kwaMthwakazi Democratic Alliance sifuna amadoda azothi thina sifuna ukubamba insimbi echisayo. You getting the sense? Le journey is not an easy journey. Ayifuni nje abantu kazana, ayifuni nje okungamadojana, ifuna amadoda, and ifuna men of vision, ifuna abantu abane-focus. Ilizwe lethu lidinga thina, ilizwe lethu lidinga mina nawe, ilizwe lethu lisidinga singumthwakazi. Kodwa kumele sibe ngabantu abafocused, kumele sibe ngabantu abakwaziyo into yabo, abakwaziyo istory sabo. You see, I don't care ungabe kuphi kwelizwe, ungabe usenzani. Uyazi ukuthi as abantu bakwamthwakazi, let us fight for ubuyithi bethu. If you are an artist, I'll promote Musumthwakazi. If you are a journalist, write the truth. You see, put the narrative of Mthwakazi as it is. Fight for that. Be seen to be fighting for that. If you are a doctor, fight for our people. If you are a nurse, fight for our people. If you are a development practitioner, be found to be developing abantu bakithi. We have been seeing amatsotsi amaningi. As ukuthi abantu bakithi abaningi, they have turned to be something else against our people. That is why ubona abantu bakithi kunzima ukuthi babelieve into yakomthwakazi. Bakwenza lokho ngoba abantu bakithi have been robbed of millions by people purporting to be representing them. You see, we saw abanye ababetshona, abantu ababe create ama stories. Hey, uHloniphani ZANU-PF is, they ended up joining ZANU-PF bona. You see, because yibabe ZANU-PF. If you see someone pointing a finger at another person, be very careful about that particular person. So bantu bakithi, that is what today I was merely postulating what Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance stands for. Tina, we are not fighting against tribe. No, kasilwi lo mhlobo. Tina silwela ukukhululeka kwezwe lethu. Tina njalo silwela intuthuko yelizwe lakithi. You see, and I think you have never heard ama-members ethu ethethisa abantu ngokuthi bangumhlobo othile, and we are always teaching them to be disciplined. Yes, sabulawa ngeguguraund, that is real. I will talk about it at another day. I will give myself time to be explaining a lot about how we will tackle some issues as a political organization. To be clear, ukuthi khona sifuna ukusebenza kanjani as a political organization. That is what people need to hear, and they will be using this platform okwesikhathi eside ukuthi sizisho ukuthi singobani. I think siyaqeda. Let me just ndlulise lokho ebantwini bakithi, please. Siyalinxusa ukuthi leli page ma ubukele, invite your friend, go and click community, invite your friend to like this page, share everything that is happening in this page with abantu bakoMthwakazi, and let them be judged about who we are. Also siyatholakala ku Twitter, just go at Mthwakazi_party. That's our Twitter account. Siyatholakala ku Instagram at Mthwakazi Democratic. Sikhona lapho ku Instagram, ungasilandela lapho azoqala lawo ma-page ukusebenza very effectively. As soon as possible, we are putting mechanism to ensure that they are professionally run and they keep our people informed. So sikhona ke lapho kubo Twitter, sikhona njalo ku YouTube. Yes, ku YouTube, just uthi Mthwakazi, type Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance TV. Siyacela bakithi, let's subscribe there. Sifisa ukuthi ngesikhatshana sibe sesikwane soku-broadcaster live using our YouTube channel. So just subscribe, go there, uthi subscribe. Upress, someone was saying, no, man, subscribe lapana kuthi ukuthi lizokhupha imali ku account yami. No, akutsho njalo. Just ukuthi ube up to date about whatever esikupostayo. So even maybe this video we might post it there, so you'll be updated ukuthi Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance has posted a new video. So siyacela abantu bakithi, okunye ngucelayo bakithi, we have got a lot of enemies. The best source of Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance is our digital platform and our website. We have got our website, it's www.mdaparty.org. Yes, www.mdaparty.org. And thanda ukubonga Mthwakazi omuhle ngokungipha indlebe zenu. Abanye maybe lizongilalela sengingasekho live, we will post this video. Kasibe kahle. Let's love who you are. Let's register to vote. Participate in my elections. Let's register to vote in numbers. Abantu bakithi asibhalise ukuvota. Asamenzi siyabhalisa. This time around ikhona Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance, ibandla elimele thina. Ngiyabonga Mthwakazi omuhle. So ngathi uThixo ngalenzela kuhle kukho konke elikwenzayo. As Mthwakazi Democratic Alliance and the team, we love you very much. Siyanithanda nyani. Siyabonga maqabane.